My dear students, hope you are well by the grace of Allah. Now we are passing a critical time because of Corona, but time goes on its own way. We are locked down for a long time and probably you are detached from your studies. It cannot be go longer. We should adjust with the adverse situation. We have to maintain our daily routine, keep pace with the environment. We are preparing to help you by taking online classes under the direction of our Honorable Principal Sir. Think it will be very helpful for you. I know that most of you have not yet bought your books. I am trying my best to describe you the whole syllabus and each novel in short. Now I am discussing with you Joseph Conrad's The Heart of Darkness, 20th century novel. Being a student of English literature, you know that there are salient features of novel. Number 1, plot. Number 2, setting. Number 3, various characters. Number 4, conflict. Number 5, point of view. Right, that means writer's point of view. In this novel, we see that the narrator is Mr. Marlowe, who is a seafarer, and he is very interested to go through Congo River to reach the inner station to rescue Mr. Kurz, who is a ivory collector or ivory trader appointed by the Belgian Trading Company. Mr. Conrad, that means Joseph Conrad, here describes his point of view, that means the reflection of modern colonial system based on the principle might is right. Marlowe denounces colonialism as robbery with violence, aggravating murder of the innocent on a great scale. Here, ivory stands for the greed of the white man and also imperialism. Imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonialization, use of military force or other means. In this story, Mr. Marlowe starts from River Thames to River Congo, his ultimate destination, where Mr. Kurz, the protagonist of the story, resides. Though Mr. Kurz was a very simple, soft-hearted gentleman, he transformed into a demon under the influence of darkness. Grief of loneliness and greed engulfs him totally. The colonial ruler wanted to show that they are going to Congo to civilize the uncivilized black people, but their ultimate wish was to collect ivory for making profit. This hurts Mr. Marlowe very much. When he started journey from the inner station to Mr. Kurz's station, he saw very cruel scenarios because white people exploited the black people the black people had no food, no medication, no clothes. They are really in a very grief condition. Though Mr. Marlowe realizes it, he tried his best to help the poor African people to his own way. He wanted to rescue Mr. Kurz, but Mr. Kurz was not interested to come back. And here we see a conflict between the station manager and Mr. Kurz. Here we also see another character, brickmaker. Brickmaker symbolizes the starting of industrialization. There are many characters, that means minor characters intended of Mr. Kurz, aunt, chief accountant, brickmaker, etc. The main character is Mr. Kurz as well as Mr. Marlowe. Marlowe wanted to show the cruelty of white people against the black people. They are exploiting, that means the white people are exploiting the black people because of their own interest. Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness is a great example of modern novel because of its general obscurity. Darkness is a symbol of evil or mystery or fear. Individualism. The individual is more interesting than society. What is prominent in this novel? And the modern writers broke the old forms of technique, obscurity, and the use of symbolism. It is a very striking figure in modern novel. Symbolize heart of darkness. Remember, heart of darkness, that means darkness of heart and the darkness of jungle of Congo or the darkness of Africa. There are various types of novel such as mysterious, thrillers, suspense, detectives, science fiction, romantic, historical, etc. But we are now dealing with it could be described as autobiographical elements of Mr. Marlowe. The main character, Mr. Kurz, is very interesting to the readers because of his versatile geniusness. But at last, he is defeated or he is engulfed by the darkness, and he could not want to return in Belgium. Though Mr. Marlowe insisted him, at last he returned, but he was died on the way and he was buried on the seashore. Before dying, he was cried out with a word, horror, horror, horror. That means at least he could realize his follies, his extreme loss, his passion for his intended. We also notice that he had another mistress in inner station. That proves his imperfection. Though his beloved waiting for him, this is the mystery of this novel. Anyhow, students, you must follow the characters. mainly two characters, Mr. Marlowe and Mr. Kurtz. And there are various characters, aunt, that means aunt, beloved, the intended, the brickmaker, the manager, the accountant, the company's clerk, uh, uh, the knitters of black wools, etc. You have to go through the characters. If you want to know the novel, you must go through the characters, because each and every character symbolizes a single meaning. Now we are concluding this story because time is very limited. The story actually based on imperialism. That means the curse of imperialism. Imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonialization, use of military force or other means. Students, remember, in first year course, you also read a story which is based on imperialism. That's name is Shooting an Elephant. So the writer wanted to expresses his dislikings of imperialism and the darkness. Darkness means evil, and the eternal conflict of good and of evil is prominent here. Please comment, question me, and I will answer your every question. It is very important for the students of